Sunshine, everyone. 6:01 here on this Thursday morning, this Friday, Junior. I'm Jason Hackett. Alicia has the morning off. As you saw, there are a lot to talk about, but first we got to talk about this weather, Ben, because I say it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought mid-70s and sunshine yesterday was a spectacular summer day. Today, temperatures upwards a little bit on the upper 70s to low 80s after a kind of a cool start. Look at this. Lake Elmo right now is at 52 degrees. Princeton's in the 40s at the moment, currently 48 degrees. And some locations in far northern Minnesota are actually in the 30s at this hour. So it is a crisp summer day. It's all thanks to this dry area of high pressure, which is originating from Canada. It's centered right on top of us. Look at all the calm readings across the state. And I think today the wind is going to be fairly light. There's the sunshine. It's been up for about 15 minutes or so. We're going to see a lot of it through the first part of the day with, again, temperatures topping out near 80 degrees. Overall, a pleasant Thursday and Friday is in your forecast. Now, as we do head into the weekend, a few spotty afternoon shower or thunderstorm chances are possible, but not necessarily likely. No major rain or major heat waves in our forecast anytime soon. Cece?
Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Good morning, too, if you're waking up in the South Metro. Live look here down in Lakeville. Slow moving down there, as you can see, just start off our 6 o'clock half hour. But just know that as you get into the Apple Valley area, Burnsville area, maybe even up into Bloomington, if you're headed that far, roads are still quiet for now. Coming in here near the Lake Elmo area, I'm going to zoom into this part. There's some construction on Highway 36 that I'll be previewing. It's going to start later in the morning, but things over there could slow down for you a little bit. I'll tell you more about that when I see you in a few minutes, Jason.
All right, Cece, thank you. We are following breaking news out of downtown Minneapolis right now. In the last 5 hours, we've confirmed with police there was a shooting on Nicollet Mall. This is the scene at 8th and Nicollet just before midnight. Right now, we don't know if police made any arrests or if anyone was injured, but in the last hour, we have reached out to MPD for more details, and we are still waiting to hear back. Of course, we'll update you on this breaking story as soon as we learn more. In just a few hours, a high-stakes vote happening at Minneapolis City Hall. On the line here is a new historic and somewhat controversial contract for Minneapolis police. Michelle Beck is outside City Hall right now, and Michelle, you spent the last few hours breaking down the numbers of this deal.
Yeah, certainly, Jason. It's been a long time coming. I mean, more than a year and a half that Minneapolis police officers have been working without a contract. They've also gone through hours of community members weighing in on this contract and also moments of deadlock from council members on this new agreement. So let's break it all down for you. The contract calls for a near 22% raise in base pay across 3 years. It's a significant number. So let's look into that. By July of 2025, starting pay would range from $41 an hour for new recruits. That's about $85,000 a year. It would go all the way to what department veterans could make, $72 an hour, equating to $149,000 a year. Payments would be backdated, essentially starting January 2023 when the last contract expired. And Jason, we also know the contract also includes some police reforms as well, from staffing flexibility to civilian investigators. But do those reforms go far enough? Some community members say no. So I'll break that all down coming up in the next 30 minutes. Jason.
All right, Michelle, we will talk to you then. Thank you so much. Negotiations for striking park workers will also come to a head at City Council today. The council just passed a resolution supporting the park workers who say they're closing in on a deal. But in the last 12 hours, the park board sent a letter to the City Council saying there's still a $1.4 million wage gap between the two groups. All right, time now 6:05. Let's take a live look at this picture. The sun's starting to come up over the Milwaukee skyline for the final day of the Republican National Convention. That begins in just a few hours here. And tonight, former President Donald Trump will accept his party's nomination and speak for the first time since last weekend's assassination attempt. In the last 12 hours, his new running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, took to the convention stage.
I grew up in Middletown, Ohio. A small town where people spoke their minds, built with their hands, and loved their God, their family, their community, and their country with their whole hearts. But it was also a place that had been cast aside and forgotten by America's ruling class in Washington. I promise you this, I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
The freshman senator from Ohio laid out his personal story, hoping to appeal to blue-collar workers in battleground states. Vance backs hardline policies on several issues from immigration to abortion. At 39 years old, the former Marine is the first millennial on a major party ticket. Now you can watch the final day of the Republican National Convention live on KARE 11 Plus, our streaming app for Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. And I want to remind you, our political reporter, John Croman, is in Milwaukee. Make sure you tune in for his report tonight at 10 on KARE 11. Well, you're taking a look here at brand new video we just got into the newsroom of President Biden arriving in his home state of Delaware. He is going to be isolating there after testing positive for COVID while campaigning in Vegas. The White House says he has mild symptoms. Biden posted on X about 10 hours ago saying he feels good and that he will be working while he recovers. Developing right now, Governor Walz is laying out the timeline for the process to nominate Biden. In a letter to Democrats, he says the party won't try to rush a vote to try to secure Biden as their nominee. Biden supporters were pushing for a virtual roll call ahead of the Democratic National Convention. As co-chair of the DNC Rules Committee, Walz says that can still happen, but not before August 1st. 20 days. That's the deadline for Minnesota AG Keith Ellison to appeal a federal judge's ruling to overturn the state's handgun ban for 18 to 21-year-olds. If not, they can legally apply for a handgun license starting on August 7th. Now, that ruling came down in the last 48 hours. The Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus says this is a big win for gun advocates. The organization's senior vice president, Rob Dorr, tells us the judge's decision affirms you don't have to reach a certain age to be entitled to your Second Amendment right.
18, 19, and 20-year-old adults, they can join the military, they can join the police academy, they can join the National Guard, they vote. They are entitled to the full exercise of all of their constitutional rights.
However, not everyone is pleased with this decision. Director of Protect Minnesota, Maggie Emery, says the court's position is disappointing because she says there is a gun epidemic in Minnesota.
My biggest concern is that young people who, again, don't yet have those decision-making skills will get their hands on firearms, and we will see rates of homicide and firearm suicide go up.
A spokesperson for the AG's office says Keith Ellison is disappointed in the ruling and exploring options for an appeal. If you live in St. Paul, listen up here. Plans are in the works to expand the privately funded Downtown Improvement District. A new proposal would expand the district. It would include the entire downtown area and create a new safety communication center. Some city residents oppose it, but at the first public hearing just 14 hours ago, many spoke in favor of it.
My question is, if cleaning services are the only measurable benefits sold to City Council, then why do they only account for 27% of their proposed budget?
In our experience, the services provided by the Downtown Improvement District have been truly a positive force in improving the perception of safety and vitality in the district.
The City Council has the final say on if the district will expand. They are expected to make a decision by August 6th. The Minneapolis Aquatennial kicks off in less than a week, along with one of its longstanding traditions, the Torchlight Parade. And this morning, we now know who will be the Grand Marshals. PWHL Minnesota champions, defender Lee Steckline and goalie Nicole Hensley will lead the parade along Nicollet Mall. The parade kicks off the 4-day celebration. Organizers say it's the largest nighttime parade in the state. It all begins at 7:30 p.m. next Wednesday.